I am going to share this on my live page or my personal page. When you pop on, say hello and where you are tuning in from. Where are you watching? And what are you doing? It's raining here, and so that's nice. It's a little chilly, but chilly is relative. I lived in Miami, and I remember coming out in boots, Ugg boots, and a scarf. It was the chillier time in Florida, kind of rare. And there were Russian girls laying down, sunning their buns, and I was all wrapped up. So chilly is relative. I am clear about that. Wow, this looks a little pixelated. Does it look pixelated to you guys? Let me know. When I'm seeing it here on Facebook, it doesn't look very clear. Doesn't look clear. Share on your timeline. I'm going to do that and post. Wait to see if you pop on. But yesterday I did a very short video about shadow work, and one of my new friends asked, what is shadow work? What does that even mean? So I thought I'd give you a little overview. I actually promised that I would today, so here I am doing it. Shadow is considered to be unconscious. It's like the unconscious part of yourself. It may be completely unconscious, or it could be parts of your personality that you have judged, and so you kind of suppress them or disown them. You don't allow yourself to believe that you're that person. And so often whenever we have not done any shadow work, so I said, what are shadows? First, let me say shadow work. There are so many different modalities for working with your shadow and learning to uncover what is in your unconscious mind, or where you're fragmented, where you may have decided, hi, who's here? Who's here? 2 people are here. Yay, who's here? And where are you watching from? I was just talking about, and also, is it a little pixelated? Because it looks weird on my computer, but it looks great on the phone right here. So shadow work, there are lots of different modalities for it, but basically you're going into your subconscious mind or into your fragmented spaces, where you, and a fragmented space is where you may at some point, usually in childhood, have decided that something about you or something about the way you're feeling or acting is just not acceptable, not lovable, and so you disassociate from it as if it's not even you. And I can see the comment on my computer, but I'm not seeing it up here. Oh, Leonie from Perth, yay, hi Leonie. And so when you, as a child, separate or decide, hey, this doesn't work, it's not lovable, it's not acceptable, I don't like it, a lot of times there's a disassociation. That doesn't mean that it's non-existent, and then there's a suppression. And so if you haven't done a lot of shadow work, okay, so shadow work is going back to uncover, where are these places? What have I disowned about myself? What am I not loving about myself? What am I judging at a subconscious level as evil, not good, ugly, unlovable, unworthy? And so the reason you would want to do that is because as you go into the shadow and find these parts, you bring all of your being back into harmony. You can, it's also, the shadow side is called the dark self or the dark side. And the value, some of the value that comes out of doing this is greater self-love, greater self-awareness, more ability to manage your emotions and to get yourself aligned with what it is that you're trying to accomplish in life. And this could be as simple as being faithful to a partner, or going for a job promotion, starting a business, working out. It could be any of that, because a lot of times the shadows, even though they're suppressed and they're not in your awareness, they are running the show. Because if you don't know, your belief and even those deep unconscious beliefs drive the show. You logically can willpower your way through a lot. You can, meditate your way through a lot, but getting with a coach like me or working with someone else is very powerful for helping you uncover. And I have coaches. I will always have coaches in my life, because I love allowing myself to have that support. And it doesn't matter how much you read, or you can have all these ahas, but a lot of times, because there's so much pain associated with not being lovable, or judging yourself as disgusting, unworthy, blah blah blah, often this stuff stays really suppressed, and it kind of is, it's masterful at hiding from your identity and from your ego to not be found out, because it's like, oh, it'd be way too painful. Hi, Courtney. It would be way too painful to be found out. And so you have this little tricky, these tricky little shadows running around. And then another thing that can happen is you're walking along and you meet someone and you're just so repelled by them. And often what you're repelled by is something that is in your shadow, that's in your dark self, that you went, if I let that out, I would hate myself. That would be unacceptable. And so until you bring them into the light and you bring them into love and you get the support that you need, hey, I just want to shimmy when you're on, Courtney. Until you do that work, you can't move into your abundance. You can't move into total wholeness and wellness, because there are all these fragments out there and you're unconscious that have been, you've disassociated from at some point and are really scary. And even sometimes when they start to emerge, they can freak people out, the feeling of greed, of jealousy, of depression, of lust, of, these things can lurk as like, no, resist it. And then boom, there's some kind of rampage that happens because you haven't learned to love and to dance with your shadows. There's a lot of powerful work that you can do. And so yesterday's video, I was talking about how I've been doing a lot of shadow work, which, if you noticed, I bought some Dark Queen things and have played, yes, shimmy, and have played in that realm a lot. And once you integrate and do the work, and I really do suggest doing the work with support, if it's not me, with some other healer, coach, mentor, counselor. But when you do the work, you will find that your shadow self is actually part of your team, and there's a time and place for all of it. And when you allow that space for all of it and learn how to hold space for yourself and these parts of yourself, because it's not like it's not there, it's there suppressed and running things in the background, then you will find yourself more easily able to align with what you want. You'll also find yourself becoming more discerning, because when you are clear and you are connected to the full truth, then you can discern what your being, what your womb, what your heart is guiding you toward. You can discern what is not for you, because often you'll be drawn to the shadow. Like if you have a shadow self that you've denied, and then you're out and about, and you're, let's say, dating, because dating's been fresh on my brain lately. So you're dating, and you find Mr. Right, and then you're so attracted to him, and then boom, he ends up being just this version, this amplified megaphone version of some shadow in yourself. And it happens all the time. Or this can happen with money, it can happen with friends, it can happen with all kinds of situations, because your frequency is still holding all of this in a disconnected way and disowned. So then, you just fall right into it because you're not connected to it. So you can't even connect to it in front of you to realize, oh, this doesn't work. This isn't for me. Where if you are connected to all the energies in yourself, including your dark side, then you recognize what that energy is, and you're more discerning in your life, both of what is for you and what is not for you, or what you choose to opt out of, because you're not, when you go like this inside of your being, no, I don't want to see that about myself, then so within, so without, right? So then you're out in the world and you're like, oh, I can see that, but I'm not going to see that other stuff. So I just refuse to see it. And it is, Leonie, I see it says it helps having a soul coach or somebody who can ask the right questions to help you uncover, shift, and heal. And I am phenomenal at that. So if you feel drawn to work with me, please message me privately. I have private offerings and group, but there are lots of other coaches and healers too. And Leonie, I so agree with you. I definitely have my support team. And I agree. It is so powerful to have help. But so does that make sense? Give me some feedback about what that's hitting with you. That whenever you are going like this, I don't want to see this about myself, and I'm scared of my shadow, I will not allow that to exist. It's yucky, gross, embarrassing. I'm going to bury it. And that is if you have any conscious connection to that. You're like, nope, not going to see it. And then when people come in your world that are really full on that energy and everybody else is seeing it, you're like, nope, I don't see that part. It because so within, so without. So you end up, missing some major signals there. So yesterday's video was talking about how in doing my own next level of shadow work over the past year, I've gotten so many beautiful gifts and lessons. And the greatest gift is deeper self-love, unconditional love, and not just tolerant love, but where I freaking celebrate my shadow self. I think she's pretty sexy and hot and wild and vibrant and is my ally big time. And everything, there's a time to moderate and be like, okay, darling, no, you're all right. But it's very powerful. And then how that shows up in my world is that when I hear things, I have a 15-year-old son, I have a son who's almost 20. So whenever they're sharing their worlds with me as they're becoming men, I have less fear about, what they're uncovering and what they're dealing with, because I'm not afraid of these, kind of darker spaces that are part of just exploring and understanding, and they're part of our humanity. And so I'm able to hold bigger space and connect more deeply with them, and with less fear and less worry as a mother. And then in the relationship and dating realm, I just have way, it's not even less judgment, because I don't think I've been a very judgmental person. I can be judgmental, but we all can. But I don't think I've been a very judgmental person, but it allows for a deeper, more rich connection, a much deeper connection, because I'm again able to take in more of who the person in front of me is, so more of you in, and then I am able to enjoy, not just tolerate or judge. You know, sometimes you take everything in, but you're like, that person, they've got rah, rah, rah. So instead of coming from this fearful place, it's more about a judgment of fear. Like, oh, do I want to engage? I'm able to appreciate and love and discern powerfully. Okay, you fit in my world in this way. Or, hey, nice seeing you, and I don't want you in my inner circle, you know? So super duper powerful work. And if you have any comments about that, I'd love to read them. Leonie, thank you for your comments here. Oh, I see you did some more. Yes, my shadow side, it helps me grow. It's like soil to a flower, full of good stuff. Yum, yum, yum. I agree. So if you're just hopping on, say hello. Hi, Kimberly. And you'll probably need to watch the replay because I'm popping off. Kimberly, I haven't seen you in forever. Your family is beautiful. And that's all. All right. Lots of love. Bye.